On April 23, 2026, OpenAI officially deployed the brand new GPT-5.5 directly into ChatGPT and its developer API. For the past 2 years, the AI industry operated under a specific illusion. We watched a continuous stream of reasoning-focused updates and assumed this steady pace of fine-tuning was the definitive path forward. That assumption was incorrect. GPT 5.5 is a fresh start. It is the first fresh architectural start since GPT 4.5. This timeline charts models released between 2024 and 2026. All these models shared a distinct limitation. They relied on the exact same underlying architecture. The new April 23 origin node marks a hard break. It abandons modular routing completely, replacing it with native omnimodality. This structural replacement is engineered for a highly specific purpose. It is designed to execute complex, autonomous agentic workflows, rather than simply improving conversational chatbots. To understand the performance of a completely retrained base model, we have to abandon the metrics used for fine-tuned updates. Foundational shifts rewrite the absolute limits of what a system can compute. To see why that hard limit existed, we need to look at how previous generation multimodal models actually process different types of data. Incoming streams of text, images, audio, and video hit a central routing node. The router forcibly splits them into separate pathways. Each routes into an isolated specialist module. Afterwards, those 4 separate outputs must be stitched back together at a final synthesis point. This synthesis stage imposes a strict technical cost. Forcing the data back together creates immediate latency and inevitable context degradation between the different modalities. Because the data is fragmented at the start, the model is strictly prevented from evaluating different types of input simultaneously. No amount of superficial reasoning updates or prompt tuning could bypass this hard structural limitation. Achieving reliable autonomous computer interaction is impossible if the foundational architecture forces the model to constantly translate between its own internal modules. GPT 5.5 solves this by completely removing the central sorting router. In this new schematic, streams of text, image, audio, and video bypass the routing stage entirely, flowing directly into one massive unified processing node. This change enables single-pass reasoning. The system evaluates all 4 data streams at the exact same time. By ingesting everything in one pass, the architecture eliminates the internal translation steps that created the old synthesis bottleneck. The model can now draw logical connections between a visual input and an audio input in a single computational step. Because it isn't waiting on separate specialist modules to finish their independent tasks, cross-modality latency drops to 0. Operating within a unified latent space means the model maintains perfect context retention across highly varied inputs. Native omnimodality is the exact structural prerequisite required for an AI to reliably execute autonomous, multi-step reasoning tasks. The empirical data confirms this capability. While incremental updates yield broad benchmark bumps, foundational retrains create massive, targeted outliers. Take the GDP-Val benchmark. This test measures skilled knowledge work across 44 specific occupations. GPT 5.5 achieves 84.9%. Next is Tau2 Bench Telecom, evaluating complex customer service workflows. The model reaches 98%, requiring 0 prompt tuning. But these general knowledge tests are secondary to strict autonomous computer operation. This data dashboard isolates the specific metrics that matter most. The OSWorld-Verified benchmark tests test whether a model can operate a live computer environment entirely on its own. Here on this test, GPT 5.5 hits 78.7%. Next is Terminal Bench 2.0, which strictly measures command line proficiency in live environments. This bar chart shows the model scoring 82.7% on terminal execution. That places it more than 13 percentage points ahead of the next closest model in the field. These specific spikes in terminal and operating system environments prove that GPT 5.5 was hyper-optimized for multi-step agentic execution rather than conversational chat. These validated autonomous capabilities are already accessible through current developer tools. GPT 5.5 is available right now within both the responses and chat completions APIs. Crucially, it ships with a 1 million token context window. This diagram shows how that massive window fully envelops a multi-step workflow. Combining native single-pass reasoning with this deep context allows the model to sustain long-term autonomous tasks without failing or losing its place. This unified setup actively eliminates the need for fragile API handoffs between specialized, single-modality tools. The timeline to test this capability is tight, the next 3 to 6 months. During this window, focus will shift away from benchmark scores and onto observing real-world execution. The ultimate metric for success is whether we start seeing measurable productivity gains within complex, autonomous enterprise deployments. Abandoning modular routing for native omnimodality, GPT-5.5 establishes the architectural foundation necessary for end-to-end enterprise autonomy.